All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're jumping right into one of the biggest, most heated debates in American politics. What to do about the Senate, and yeah, the filibuster. And to do that, we're going to explore this really fascinating imaginary conversation from our source material. You've got major political figures going head-to-head, and the moderator, get this, it's a holographic George Washington.
So right out of the gate, our holographic host, George Washington himself, throws down the gauntlet. He's not just talking about some dry procedural rule. No, he frames this as a full-blown crisis of purpose. He's basically saying the Senate was supposed to be the nation's steady, beating heart. But now it's become a choke point, stopping the flow of progress. And that really sets the stage for everything we're about to hear. It boils down to this one huge question. Has this institution, the one that was specifically designed to cool things down and make people talk, has it just become frozen solid? So stuck that it can't actually do anything for the good of the country anymore?
All right, let's get into the main event here. This is where the battle lines are really drawn, and it's all about the filibuster. Is it this sacred tradition that we have to protect, or has it turned into a weapon, a kind of procedural tyranny?
So on one side of the ring, you've got the argument for action. The idea here is that the will of the people, the majority, is being completely blocked. From this perspective, the filibuster isn't protecting democracy at all. It's actually stopping it in its tracks, letting a small minority hold the entire government hostage.
But then you have the complete opposite tick. This side champions caution, saying, hey, wait a minute. They argue these hurdles, this slowness, that's a feature, not a bug. It's what stops these wild, radical swings every time a new party takes over. It forces people to talk, to compromise, and that, they say, creates stability.
And here's the powerful counter to that. The argument is that this stability you're talking about, well, it often comes at the price of justice. If the whole system is just designed to protect the way things are, the status quo, then all it's really doing is keeping the powerful comfortable while totally ignoring the needs of millions of people.
So you see, this is the fundamental clash right here. What is the Senate's main job? Is it to act, to get things done and reflect what the majority wants right now? Or is its job to slow down, protect the minority view, and make sure that any big change has, widespread support?
Okay, so let's move on from the theory, because this whole debate isn't just some academic thought experiment. It has real, tangible consequences for real people. There's a human price to all this.
And the source material really hammers this point home. It makes it painfully clear that when the gears of government grind to a halt, it's not the politicians who feel it most, it's ordinary people. Gridlock isn't just some words you hear on the news. It's a real thing, with a real human cost, felt in kitchens and at dinner tables all over the country.
And this is where it all gets very real. We're talking about things like disaster relief that gets stalled for months, essential services that just don't show up, federal workers not getting a paycheck. The source has this incredibly powerful phrase for it: hunger with a zip code. It's just a stark reminder that political inaction creates actual victims.
But, the cost isn't just about money or services. The source material goes even deeper, calling it a kind of moral failure, a spiritual paralysis. Think about that. It's this idea that we've reached a point where truth itself is partisan, where everything is just about which team you're on, making any real progress impossible. It's like it's starving the very soul of the country.
So faced with this deep paralysis, the conversation pivots, and two totally different ideas for a cure pop up. One is all about technology and code. The other, it's all about morality and conscience.
The first idea is pretty wild. It's a radical, tech-heavy redesign. The argument is basically that the Senate is like an old, buggy operating system that's long overdue for an upgrade. We're talking about using data to make decisions, AI to model what a law will actually do, and even digital proxies so citizens have a real-time voice.
But not so fast. This whole tech utopia idea gets hit with a really powerful warning, a profound one, really. The counter-argument is that data without compassion is just numbers. It's information without any wisdom. And you just can't capture human suffering in an algorithm and expect it to spit out a solution.
And this really gets to the heart of the dilemma for any kind of reform, doesn't it? Can you actually write code for fairness, or is fairness something that has to come from us, from human character, empathy, and judgment? I mean, can a machine ever really replace mercy?
So after all this back and forth, this clash of big ideas, where do we land? Well, the final part of this whole discussion shifts gears. It stops focusing on what's broken and starts talking about, okay,
How do we build a new blueprint for the future?
And to really cut through all the noise, our host Washington asks everyone a very direct question. He says, boil it all down. Give me the one single principle that should guide America's renewal. What's the one thing we should aim for?
And wow, the answers couldn't be more different. They lay out 5 completely distinct and, yeah, sometimes conflicting visions for where the country should go. You've got continuity, accountability, adaptability, strength, and love. Each one is a totally different roadmap.
At the end of the day, what this whole dialogue seems to suggest is that the answer isn't just one simple rule change. It's not a new app or algorithm. It's something much deeper. It's a fundamental shift in how we think about government, a promise to remember that its power, its very reason for being, comes from the people.
And so, we're left with this final, really powerful challenge. The question gets turned away from the people on the stage, and it's pointed right at us, at all of us. This whole debate about the Senate's future, it's not just for them. It's a test for every single generation. So the question for you is, are we just going to preserve what we were given? Or are we going to find the courage to try and perfect it?